Hey y'all, sorry about that. The first video, for some reason it ain't had no sound, so now I gotta do this all over again. Y'all already know what this is, man. Dean, by any means. Y'all know what I'm about to say. There go to PayPal. There go to Cash App. Um, I don't care if you leave $2, $200, $2,000. It is much, much, much appreciated. 92 mil bill is what they call them. A 92 mil bill is what they call them. And then, Dev, I feel some type of way because you lied right to my Phillies brother's face and it was unnecessary. Now, Devin, the Dream Haney, you sat up there and said that you offered Shakur Stevenson more money than he has made in all of his fights combined. Combined, they asked you to clarify it. They said combined. He said combined. Okay, y'all. Well, you know the funny thing about that is that we could do a little bit math on this. Okay, so when you got, let's say, y'all, Shakur Stevenson makes roughly for all 21 fights, he has made roughly about 1.5 million. Because his early fights, he probably wasn't getting as much, probably 200, 300, 400,000. But now his later fights, we hearing that he getting anywhere between 3 to 4 million. So now all of that offset. So let's take all 21 fights and say on average, Shakur Stevenson getting about 1.5 million. Okay. 1.5, if you times that by his 21 fights, is 31.5. That would make that $31.5 million. Okay? Devin Haney basically proclaims that he had $31.5 million to offer Shakur Stevenson, which we all know is a lie because Devin Haney has never even gotten a purse close to that himself. And mind you, y'all, before y'all get, well, he talking about Bob. Well, he talking about Eddie. No, he not. Because when they offered that to Shakur Stevenson, when they offered that fight to Shakur Stevenson, they so-called have it wasn't signed to Matchroom yet. Even though I know and plenty of others know that he was already signed to 3 fight deals after saying he's not a free agent. So one of the two things got to be true, y'all. Was he signed to a deal or wasn't he? Because if he wasn't, he was saying he had this money. The problem with that is, and then for all the Devin Haney fans that's going to sit up there and say, well, Dean, he talking about in totality what they would have made. How can Devin say what Shakur would have got if they're talking about the back end? Because Devin didn't even get no back end for Regis. So how would Devin know how many pay-per-views they would sell to say that Shakur is ducking his biggest payday? Because if you're going off pay-per-view sales and not you saying that you're guaranteeing him that money, you're going off of pay-per-view sales. Pay-per-view sales ain't recouped until after the fight. So how could Devin say before the fight that Shakur Stevenson is turning down his biggest payday ever when he wouldn't even know if it was or not? B, how does Devin Haney know how much Shakur Stevenson is getting paid and not getting paid? That's the other thing. And then number 3, like shout out to my guy Fanon. Who was paying for this fight? Who was paying for it? Let Devin tell you. And for all you Devin Haney fans that's going to say, Dean, they was talking about the other companies. No, they wasn't, because for Gervonta Davis on another interview, Devin Haney just sat up there and said recently that, well, Billnocchio said this, and I call him Billnocchio every time he tells a lie. So he said he had the money for Gervonta Davis. And Eddie Hearn and Prince Ali Sheik had an extra money for Gervonta Davis, another 20 mil. 20 plus 20 equals 40 mil bill. Now y'all know why I call him 40 mil bill. If you understand, type understand. Understood? Okay. So, Devin, you get $31 million. You got $31 million guaranteed for Shakur Stevenson. Hey, y'all, everybody, break out the calculators for me, please. People, y'all owe me this. Break out the calculators. So if that was the 25% and Shakur was turning down, because remember, y'all, he said more money than he has made in all of his fights combined. Gillian Wallow asked this man to clarify. They said all of his fights combined or the most he's ever made in one fight. No, he said all of them combined. Lying to my Philly brothers, and you supposed to be Muslim and they Muslim too. It's just sad, but okay. No problem. All right. So then all of his fights combined, Shakur Stevenson is anywhere between 25 to probably $31 million. Hey, y'all, until y'all saying Shakur not getting that, I'm gonna bring this another point up later too. It'll all come together and make sense. So if the 25% was 31.5 that Devin could have offered Shakur Stevenson, he turned down because that was more than all of his fights combined, the man said, then that means you got to times X that by 3. So that means Shakur 25%, you got to times that by 3 to see what Devin would get because Devin got the 75%. And it takes 25% to make 100%. If you understand, type understand. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm petty. If you understand, type understand. Okay. 31.5 times 3 is 94.5 million. You see how I put it, the $90 million lie, 92 million, 92 mil bill, what they call them. I even took an extra couple million off, y'all, to help Devin case. Because it's more than 31.5 is more than 90 million or 92 million. So let's even take that extra couple million off. That will replace what y'all saying Shakur Stevenson has not gotten, if you saying that he didn't get that 1.5 average about. So now you're down to about a million average or a 1.2 average for Shakur. And that sounds even better, right? So that means that Devin Haney, if he had this prior to guarantee to Shakur Stevenson and Shakur turned it down, then that means that Devin was getting close to $90 million for that fight. Because he said, don't listen, yo, I'm only holding the man to what he said because they asked him to clarify. He had an opportunity to clarify this, and he actually looked both of them men in his eye and said, no, all of his fights combined. The problem with that is we find out, we know what Shakur has been getting paid for his last 4 to 5 fights. Like we can literally type these things in and find this stuff out. So anyway, Devin is saying that he got close to $90 million guaranteed to fight Shakur Stevenson. We all know that is a lie because Devin Haney hasn't been ever, has not even grossed $90 million in his whole career. Devin Haney probably hasn't even grossed now, y'all. For all y'all saying, Dean, that's cap. Let's slice the 90 million in half. Let's slice the 31.5 in half. Devin hasn't even grossed that in his whole career. Devin probably hasn't made in guaranteed purses over $15 million, $16 million his whole career. How do you have 30 something to offer Shakur Stevenson? Let's slice that. Because to say that I got to slice it is basically saying in the beginning of their career, they was fighting for free. We know Shakur has been getting anywhere between $3 and $4 million at least for his last 3 fights. You want me to believe he been fighting on Top Rank, so what he wasn't. So then if you do the math, let's slice it in half and say 15 million. 15 million times 3 is what, y'all? 45? So you want me to believe now? I'm about to slice it in half for y'all off of what he said. He said he offered Shakur more than he got guaranteed his whole career. Let's slice even that, the number we think Shakur has grossed in his whole career. Let's slice it in half. That would be roughly around $15 million. 15 times 3 is 45. Devin Haney hasn't even grossed $45 million in his whole career. Let alone ever get that guaranteed to him. They didn't guarantee Devin $45 million to fight Shakur Stevenson. Because mind you, why I keep saying guarantees, y'all, because he said that he knows that Shakur Stevenson turned this down and it was the most money he ever made combined for his career. Well, how would Devin know that part, y'all? If it's not on pay-per-view and you talking about the back end. Because you can't talk about the back end before the back end happens. So then you would be lying on Shakur Stevenson on that end saying he turned something down that you don't even have a number for. You don't even have a number for. You don't even know what y'all would have did on pay-per-view. So how can he turn something down that's future tense? How can he turn money down that don't exist yet? That means that Devin was talking about the guarantee. So let's stick to the guarantees. And he said that was more than all of Shakur Stevenson's guarantees combined. That is what Devin Haney said. Well, all of Shakur Stevenson guarantees combined at minimum is at least around 10 to 12 to 13 to 14 million, even though I think it's more than that. Because low key, y'all, all these bags that Devin Haney say he been getting, Shakur Stevenson been getting them same exact bags this whole time. This whole time, y'all. Devin Haney got y'all thinking he's getting paid way more than Shakur Stevenson. FYI, people, know the hell he's not. So whatever Shakur Stevenson has grossed, you got to times that by 3, because then that means that you are putting that up towards Devin Haney. And that's what he's saying that he accumulated, which we all know is not true. So that's why I call him 90 mil bill. That's why I call him 92 mil bill, the $90 million lie. Because in order for Shakur Stevenson to turn down 25%, that was more than his whole career, that means we are talking 15 million and up. You times that by 3, that's what Devin's claiming that he was getting. And we know that Devin is not getting that, because you know how we know that? Because Eddie Hearn said he wouldn't even pay for Devin Haney to fight Sandor Martin. Devin Haney only got 1.5 million guaranteed to him towards Regis. We don't know how much he got guaranteed this fight, but I can tell you the way that it's flopping right now, it ain't that much. And we all know that Ryan has the bigger split when it comes to that. But again, shout out to manager Marty. How do we even know that, Devin, if the pay-per-views haven't been sold yet? A split of what? Because y'all understand how pay-per-views work, y'all. You got to hit a certain marker before you start to gain revenue. Pay-per-view get their money off top. In case you didn't know. So 45% of what? You don't even know if you're, because Regis didn't get it back in. So let's say him and Regis had a 50-50 split. The problem with that is if we didn't reach our marker, there's a 50 split of nothing. If you understand, type understand. I hate that I'm this petty. If you understand, type understand. Billnocchio and Devin has told the biggest sports lie in history right to Gillian Wallow face and didn't blink twice about it right after Ramadan. I'm going to say that for y'all again. They have told the biggest lie in boxing history, something we can actually add up, y'all. We can literally pull our calculators out and do the math on it. And even if you split the number that I say in half, they haven't even grossed that, though. If you understand, type understand. 90 mil bill is what they call them. What you going to do when 50K is all you do? You're going to go ahead and be the B-side to Tank's B-side and lie on Shakur Stevenson. Just another day in boxing, y'all. Y'all already know what this is. Sorry about the sound on the first video. My headset was hooked up, okay? Y'all know what this is. Deem by any means. And I'll holla at y'all.